Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, new merchandise is coming for the 70th anniversary. The Jonas Brothers celebrate Christmas in a new movie with photo ops at the park.
Portos has finally started to make progress. Tiki Land Day has been announced for 2026. Magic Key changes. We finished our conversation with Lyndsey about the Disney Destiny and more. DL Weekly starts now.
This is your captain speaking to you from the wheelhouse. I'd like to welcome all of you aboard the DL Weekly podcast. For safe passage on our trip, please do not sit or climb on the outside railings. And be sure to watch your children. The water can be unpredictable in these parts, and we'd sure hate to lose any of you.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of December 10th, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tag Bushman. It is getting close to Christmas.
It is.
We would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we'd like to give a special shout out to Cam A, Elizabeth M, Ryan P, and Whitney C for continuing to support the show. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, and a bunch of other perks like postcards that are going to be mailing out like probably
this
tomorrow.
Week,
This week. Head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
With the Disneyland 70th celebration continuing into the new year, there's even more merchandise being released, if you can believe it. The Vault and Castle collections are getting new items like Tinkerbell on a women's tee, trinket tray, or notepad and pen. More apparel in this collection will feature designs inspired by the early days of Disneyland. The Castle collection will offer a new Spirit jersey, women's tee, and pin set.
This pin set looks pretty cool
I
for the is this the Castle collection?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got like all the colors. There's like at least in the picture. Oh, it's a Carthay circle. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
With the three fairies and Chippendale and is that Aurora?
And
Or
Aurora.
Sleeping- yeah. Hey, I got it right.
Good job. Good
Yeah.
job. The other thing that since we're talking about the Castle collection, is one of the things I think that's just really beautiful is the logo for the Disneyland 70th. It's 70th, but I love the weaving of colors and kind of the tangle of colors, the blue, the pink, and
So
then
like
the
in
gold.
front of the castle kind of logo,
yeah. What that logo looks like there.
Well, castle, but front of the train station is what I meant.
Yeah. So, but they have that now on a t-shirt. So you can, I don't think it was on any of the merch before, like the actual.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That actual logo. And then the other thing that's really cool is if you have been, or if you haven't gone yet and you're going, to keep your eyes open because that logo shows up in different places, but in different forms, I guess would be a good way of saying it. The best example is when you go to Disney's Grand Californian.
Oh, yeah.
The version of the logo in there is more appropriate for the lobby. It's kind of more like warm brown and like bronze
Craftsman
tones.
style-y.
It's beautiful. And they kind of did that here they've got the classic, the bright colorful version on the tee, but then on the Spirit jersey, it kind of matches the vibe of the Spirit jersey being more subtle, but still has that kind of flourish of a logo going.
I wish they had a man's version of the tee that they have.
Maybe
there.
they do, and we just haven't seen it yet. They're just not promoting it.
It just says women's tea, like specifically in the thing. So
I'm throwing out some hope for you, or like a pin if it was on a pin.
One of these said that like there'll be like more items or something later. Anyway, whatever.
This is the celebration that you can celebrate happy with all of the merch because there's just been
a lot,
so much merch that's been coming out. But I also find the Tinkerbell set really, really cute and really, really fun, and it's like the classic vintage retro version of Tink. She's so stinking cute. I really like it.
I like the trinket tray a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Disneyland is getting in on the festive new movie from the Jonas Brothers for Christmas. A Very Jonas Christmas movie will have a photo op at Disney California Adventure and over at the Disneyland Hotel. Hotel guests can also catch a screening of the movie. Weekly tiers at home, of course, can watch the movie on Disney Plus and Hulu. It is streaming now.
I have not seen this. I don't know if I plan to watch it or not, but I have just been cracking up over this photo op because it looks like you're in a car, right? Like the photo op looks like you're sitting in a car, but your license plate is Xmas Bro. And then they have these giant window clings that look like ugly Christmas sweater style thing that the embroidery in that says "Let it bro." I just
There's a lot of bro, isn't there?
I mean, it is the Jonas Brothers, so that makes sense. But I'm also just like, I'm. This is actually making me more curious about the movie than I was prior because I find that comical.
Yeah, I'm actually, as we're talking right now, I'm going to.
You're going to add it to your list
to watch. Maybe over the Christmas break, I'll watch it. 2020. Here we go.
Just came out.
Yeah. So I'll make sure that I eventually get that. But I don't know. I've heard like they were promoting this for. I mean, obviously, like now in the parks they're promoting it, but I thought that they were promoting. Like I had seen some other stuff with it too. But I don't know. I feel like. I was never like big into the Jonas Brothers like music or anything, but the stuff I've like seen them in, like I haven't been upset about it. So I think that's good. If you're traveling to Walt Disney World, maybe for the holidays, they also have some stuff out in Walt Disney World that they're also doing to celebrate this. The strolling piano has a mark on them. By the way, when we went, did we see this?
You and I did not see this.
Okay.
But Vern and I have seen this. Yeah.
James and I saw it too when we were there hanging out in downtown Disney.
Fun.
It is fun that they just roll around.
Do you see the roaming DJ sleigh?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's cool. They do some neat stuff over in Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just don't have the room in downtown Disney for a roaming piano.
You know what we have that they don't? Douglas fir.
I mean, that is true. By the way, thank you to Jonathan and Bailey for sending in a video clip and a photo of them with Douglas fir.
In downtown Disney. I love it. It's great. If we can't meet them on our own, that was like the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of downtown Disney, construction has started on the future home of Portos Bakery and Cafe in downtown Disney. The Disney Parks blog has released new concept art of what the new location will look like once it's complete. The location will be the first Portos with sit-down table service as well as a full bar.
So the last time we saw any concept art of this, it was, I want to say kind of vague, if you will, of how big it was or the scale kind of, or where it was exactly going to go. But these concept arts are much more detailed and you kind of get a better idea of the expanse. This building is going to be massive. It goes all the way from, what is that, the World of Disney building, all the way to where like the ticket booths are now. In fact, in the background at the link in the show notes, it's Soarin'.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the Soarin' building is hanging out back there. So I like this. I think this is going to look really cool. It's got lots of like outdoor seating on 2 levels. So the ground level and like a balcony. It's got that mid-century modern, but also kind of like current. Like
it's like a tropical California coast casual kind of thing.
Sure.
Like it's got the warm
cool.
oranges and teals with some pops of green. I like it. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to see when things get like moving. Somebody who was there in our Discord chat said that they have started doing something like there's actual construction. So great, because everybody's been wondering if this was coming or not.
2022 was when this was first announced, so it's been a long time in the making, and yeah, we're not even close to the finish line yet, so who knows if it'll open in 2026 or if it'll be pushed out into 2027, but...
What do you think of the updated concept art?
I'm curious about it. I am, like, the thing that's interesting to me with the concept art is it's all been building focus that we've seen thus far, because like the fact that there's just like the little tiny hint of, oh, that's the Soarin' hangar back there. I mean, it's just like a corner of that building. And then the other thing that's like recognizable for downtown Disney is the swirls in the cement, but I am not that good to know where exactly that swirl in the, you know what I mean? There's swirls in the cement all over the place. So I can't, it's hard for me to visualize what this is going to look like because they haven't put a lot more already existing stuff into context with where the concept art stuff is. So
that back thing, so it's going to be way like over
I'm
here.
still just curious about this because it just feels like it's going to really be encroaching on the ticket gates.
Here's the
but
swirl,
it must,
by the way.
It must not be, you know?
Well, the actual ticket gates.
The actual like the entrance gates.
Well, that's got to be why this is so like this little planter here. I'll bet
is like that.
This planter like right.
Well, probably even further
or here.
I don't know. It seems like the Portos patio is darn near front of the line for the entrance turnstiles.
But I feel like I can drop this here.
It's a little planner.
Is
that whole planner going to be there, or is it going to be absorbed?
I don't know.
Time will tell. I'm really curious to see this one take shape. I'm also curious about that outdoor patio, if it's going to be kind of like an open outdoor patio, or if you need to be a Portos customer to utilize the patio space.
I think looking at this and where Soren building it's kicked I think this is going to be like here.
Yeah, it's going to be basically to the turnstile.
The biggest they possibly could make
it. Grab your breakfast and go into the park.
Well, and just think like if it's going to go from like that's I mean, because this building where Earl was before was kind of big.
That was not a small building before, and it's gonna, I don't know, almost triple.
Wow.
Crazy. But again, we're excited to see it all come together.
Yeah. Well, Tiki fans rejoice. The 6th annual Tiki Land Day will be on Sunday, April 26, 2026, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Disneyland. The day will be filled with Tiki fun, Tiki fashion, Tiki art, and escapism. More information will be released in the future, but check out the link in our show notes to stay updated.
This event is so cool. We have not been ourselves. We've heard many, many great things about it, though. But I think what's very, very fun from the time that we started reporting on this event years and years ago, because, again, this podcast started in 2017. We've been reporting on some of these extra fun things for quite a while. Watching the group photos for these fan-led events just continuously get bigger and bigger and bigger each year. Like this photo on their website that we have linked, of course, in our show notes. It is the entirety of like the bazaar all the way over back to the bathrooms, all the way to like bleeding into the tropical hideaway. And it's solid people posing for the photos. If you wouldn't have been able to walk through, like if you were just a guest trying to like walk through Adventureland, you could not, because that's how many people were in that space. That's amazing. So kudos to the event organizers for putting on such a wonderful event that is bringing out so many different fans of Tiki to come celebrate together at Disneyland.
I just don't.
Isn't that wild?
Like my brain does not understand how they got this photo, because like
do you know what it is? You know exactly where it is, Tag. Because
no, I know where they took the photo. What I mean is like, how are they?
How did they coordinate all that?
Well, how are there not mounds of people just trying to like shove through this group of people in Adventureland?
I'm sure Disney.
They've got the magic
members,
tape. Did you see that?
Yep, I'm sure Disney cast members helped kind of get that planned and figured out. But that's just wild.
God, their Instagram. Oh my goodness, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
it's incredible. It's very, very cool.
Wow. That is nuts. Anyway, well, if you're interested, check out the link in our show notes. And like I said, they have a list that you can sign up for where they will be posting updates about the events as they get them planned.
One of the fun things with the events is they have little, I don't know, I guess I'm going to call them like scavenger hunt type things. We do that when we go to the park and just leave little pins and fun stuff for listeners to find later. They go all out, though, and they have a bunch of different artists that donate, different pieces that they hide around the parks and leave little clues, so people that are participating at Tiki Land Day get the little hints sent to them, so then they can go and find the treasures around the area. Or maybe it's like you got to find this person in this outfit type of thing. But it's super, super fun.
Wow. I'm just looking at where they've taken some of these photos. They took one along the walkway by Hungry Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's super cool. Super, super cool. Well, Magic Keys have become a little more interesting this past week. The Enchant Key will be discontinued starting on January 13th and will be replaced with the Explore Key. The Explore Key will cost $999, not to be confused with 999 Happy Haunts, and include 4 theme park reservations, up to 10% off on select merchandise and dining, 25% off parking in the Toy Story parking area, and 25% off Lightning Lane Multipass. The new pass, along with the Imagine Key, will go on sale January 13th.
I wanted to see, here we go. Is this what I'm looking for? I was trying to see. So it's replacing the Enchant Key.
It's replacing the Enchant Key. I will be the first to admit, I was razzle-dazzled. Disney did it to me again. When this first came out, I was like, there's a new key. It's going to be so much better. Yeah, instant excitement. And I was like, this is perfect. And then when I was looking at the new Explore Key and comparing it to the current Enchant Key, I realized that the new Explorer key is $24 more than what the current Enchant key is. And if you just look at the perks side by side, they're identical. Both get 4 reservations at a time. Both have blackout dates. Both have 20% off parking at the Toy Story parking lot. Both have the 10% merchandise and dining discounts. The only thing that's different that we don't have more information on right now is the calendars. So this new Explorer key is promising more availability, weekday availability during the summer months. Whereas right now, the Enchant key basically is not available for, I think it's 1 whole month. It's got very limited summer availability.
Well, yeah, because I think when we looked at this before, isn't all of June and July or all of July
I can't
and August or
remember.
something?
One of the months is completely blacked out. Maybe it's July is completely a no-go.
For Enchant, right?
For Enchant.
Okay,
we have
here.
not seen what the Explore key looks like just yet.
So Enchant is...
Yep, July's the one that's
July's all gone, and all but the 1st through the 4th of June.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
So they're going to offer more weekday? That's the thing?
Yeah, so it's weekday availability. So I'm assuming it's probably going to look more like, because in the August calendar right now, you've got Sunday through Friday, but not Saturdays.
But I have a question. Why make a whole new pass and not just tweak it?
So, right, that's the thing. Why? Because I think they're hoping that people will have my gut reaction.
The razzle-dazzle.
And they'll be razzle-dazzled. It's easier. They're getting more buzz, and people are talking about it with introducing a new key versus just updating the calendar. Because they could update the calendar, and people would be slow to notice that versus, hey, it's a new thing. So, yeah. So
seems interesting.
I mean, I still think it's a positive. And I do, is it maybe strange that they're repackaging basically the same thing? Sure. But if it gets us more access to the parks when right now summer's kind of a slower time to go anyways, the summers have become the not time to go, I think, because everyone assumes everybody's visiting in summer, so nobody visits in summer type of thing. So I think it is good to get more availability to those lowered keys, and this might be a better way to kind of spread the word than, again, if they just simply updated the calendars. But we will see. I don't think the $24 or $25, whatever it is, I don't think the $24, $25 difference is that big of a
you also
deal
get
in the grand scheme of things.
5% off more on Lightning Lane Multipass than you used to.
Oh, there you go. The one thing I was really hoping for, though, was I wish all keys had PhotoPass.
Yeah.
They start that at the Believe.
Yeah. I also wish they'd have free parking, because that's a big deal for people.
Yeah.
But
PhotoPass, I feel like, would be a very easy thing for them to include that is not really a cost. Whereas if, parking, if you don't park there, someone is going to be parking in that spot. So they could look at that more like quote unquote lost revenue versus PhotoPass photographers.
Well, you're paying for the PhotoPass photographer to be there, but yeah.
And if
they're going to be
anything,
there anyway,
having them see more people get photos taken around the parks would then just kind of get more people excited about getting photos taken around the parks.
That's true. Well, this weekend was the 2025 Candlelight Processional at Disneyland. As usual, Town Square was transformed into an outdoor venue to hold the event. This year's guest narrator was Coco's Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, so I thought this was interesting because Benjamin Bratt was the voice of Ernesto de la Cruz. He was kind of like the villain. So we've had some not great, not positive.
Maybe they're trying to
they're
improve their reputation.
they're bringing in the villains because we had Agatha a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Now we've got Ernesto. But yeah, everything that we've heard about the event was that it was amazing as always, beautiful. They really do transform Town Square into kind of like a much, much different space for this event every year. And it's just, I think it's just magical because like Fantasmic, it's just a regular normal part of the park until all of a sudden Disney magic happens and it's like this big grand stage. So one of these years we will go and
it is really nice.
See it in person ourselves.
Yeah, I've heard great things. The only problem that I think I would have with it is just the idea of having to wait that long. He was also Bail Organa in Andor. I knew there was another place that he showed up, but I just wanted to double check. So Yeah, you actually saw him in Andor if you watched Andor, the Star Wars Andor. So I was like, I'm pretty sure he was in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. With the recent release of Zootopia 2, stars Jennifer Goodwin and Ke Huy Quan visited the Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland. This was extra special for Quan, who got his movie start in the 1984 Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where he played Indy's kid sidekick Short Round. Both actors rode while being filmed with the challenge not to react during the attraction. To see the results, check out the link in our show notes.
So I really think he's awesome because he was in a lot of stuff from my childhood. Of course, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Goonies.
And he was Data in Goonies.
And then he kind of took a break, kind of did some other stuff. But then he came back for 2022's Everything Everywhere All at Once, which, if you haven't seen it, also, it's a weird movie, but very good, where he won an Academy Award for. So awesome. Of course, Jennifer Goodwin was in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. Jennifer is the voice of Judy Hopps in Zootopia.
That too.
And then Key is the voice of Gary DeSnake in Zootopia 2, which, if you have not seen it yet, it is very, very, very fun and just adorable as Zootopia movies are, right? But yeah, this was hilarious. If you haven't already seen this video on social media, go watch it, because it's one of those things now too. If you don't think about it, because if you're told to go on an attraction and just try your darndest to not have any reactions,
especially on something like Indiana Jones,
that's flinging you around. There's air being at you. Yeah. I think it's so fun. And we don't know if this was their first time ever on the attraction or if it's their 100th time on the attraction. Because could you imagine being told not to react and it's the first time you've ever been on an attraction?
Right. Yeah, it was very fun to watch. And of course, props to them for being good sports about this. Definitely go check it out because it was quite fun. And it's cool to kind of have this throwback, right? Because this is where he got his start in this movie. And it's awesome.
I do think my favorite part, though, was towards the beginning. And I think it's the first time Key kind of breaks. And it's because he just couldn't help but sing along to the Indiana Jones music. I get it. I do the same thing.
Sure. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And poor Jennifer, she was just kind of along. I don't know if she's ever written, she seemed more unaware of what was happening and trying really hard to not break. But all right, well, Magic Key holders can pick up a couple of new refillable popcorn buckets at Disneyland. The Disney California Adventure 25th Anniversary Bucket features Mickey and Minnie with a 25th logo for the celebration. There's also a Disneyland Park 70th Celebration Bucket. Both buckets offer $2.25 refills from January 13th through February 24th, 2026. This, of course, now that they have all these flavored popcorns, they do note that this excludes the flavored popcorn.
Sure. I wish this was something that they did year-round. Maybe not for all guests, but maybe as a perk to Magic Key holders. I just think it's so fun.
I like this bucket, this 25 years one. And then I was like, is California Adventure? Yes.
Yeah.
Because it opened in February 2001.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And then the Magic Key bucket that is the Disneyland 70th theme. It looks very similar, and maybe it's the same as what the Magic Key holder popcorn tote thing was.
Yeah, the little insulated
cooler thing, the cooler bag thing.
Thing that held a drink and a popcorn.
Yeah. It's got the same
that I bought.
The same logo with the 70th of the castle. It's kind of more that throwback logo.
Yeah, that old throwback, but also it kind of gave me medieval kind of styling kind of.
It feels like the stylization of the movie Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
The holidays are here, and that means it's the most wonderful time of the year to save with Rakuten. Use Rakuten to stack cash back from your favorite stores on top of holiday sales. That's savings on savings. With Rakuten, you can get cash back on gifts for everyone on your list. From toys for the kids to kitchen gear for the person who loves to cook to electronics for everyone. You can even save on something for yourself. Just shop the stores you love and cashback is automatically added to your account. And you can get paid with gift cards, PayPal, or check. Or eligible American Express card members can even choose to earn membership rewards instead of cashback. It's truly a no-brainer. Join for free today and get a new member bonus after minimum qualifying purchases. Just go to Rakuten.com, download the app, or install the browser extension. That's RAKUTEN. Terms and conditions apply.
I am the podcast that flaps in the night. I am the churro crumb in your meticulously planned itinerary. I am DLWeekly.
Well, this week for SnackChat, we are continuing our stroll through downtown Disney, and we have arrived at Splitsville Luxury Lanes, which is another location in downtown Disney that we have not eaten at before, but they have food. In addition to bowling, I do know one thing. This is the only place in downtown Disney or on Disney property that I'm aware of that has sushi.
That is the one thing apart from the bowling that I knew about this place as well. So I'm curious to dive in and see what other offerings they have. So Splitsville is open for both lunch and dinner. We will start with the appetizers, which include a cone of fries, which are classic crinkle cut fries, lightly seasoned and served with a chive dip.
Ooh, chive dip.
There's also chicken tenders, which are hand battered with Parmesan breading and then served with ranch, or you can have them tossed in buffalo or Asian barbecue sauce for, of course, an additional charge. They also have edamame and buffalo egg rolls, which are hand rolled and filled with buffalo chicken, cream cheese, celery, and carrots, served with an avocado ranch.
Fascinating. Of course, they have loaded fries, which are the same fries that you get in the cone, but it comes with queso blanco, bacon, ranch, scallions, and love. You like the and love?
I was not expecting the and love. That was good.
It's literally on the menu, folks. I didn't
part
throw
of
that
the
in
menu.
there. They have the macho nachos, which are loaded with seasoned ground beef, shredded cheddar jack cheese, queso, jalapeno, and black bean corn salsa, drizzled with avocado ranch. They have cheeseburger sliders, which are 3 of them, topped with cheese, caramelized onions, and their special sauce, lettuce, tomato, and pickles, and pan-fried pot stickers, which have a black vinegar sauce, scallions, and sesame seeds.
For your entrees, these are a little bit more classic. We have fish and chips. There's a sweet and spicy chicken, chicken fried rice, grilled salmon.
There's steak frites, which is a Wagyu sirloin.
Yeah.
It's finished with garlic butter and served with shoestring fries, broccoli, and our signature steak sauce. They also have a smothered chicken, which is topped with their house-made bacon onion gravy, served with mashed potatoes and garlic butter broccolini, and the chicken Alfredo.
Pizzas. This I definitely did not know that they have.
Me either.
We've got a 4 cheese, a meat lovers, Hawaiian, a barbecue chicken, spicy pepperoni, a margarita, and a just classic pepperoni.
All right, sushi. These, I think, are all fairly standard sushi rolls, so we'll just read ones that seem interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd say yes and no, because what I've learned with sushi is some of these like fancy rolls, they have the same name, but it is not the same at each restaurant.
Well, they've got a California roll.
Okay, that one is.
They have a spicy tuna roll, which the only difference with the spicy tuna is it's sprinkled with scallions and sesame seeds. They have a crouching dragon, which is a tempura shrimp and asparagus topped with spicy crab mix, avocado and drizzled with eel sauce, spicy mayo, and sriracha. They have a fantasy roll, which is a sushi dream come true, it says.
Look at that.
It has fresh salmon, cucumber, and avocado rolled in soy pepper and topped with steamed shrimp and ahi tuna, drizzled with spicy kimchi ponzu sauce. They have a fiesta roll, which is a volcano spicy crab mix, tuna and cream cheese rolled and topped with avocado, masago, tagine, scallion, cilantro, and our fiesta and eel sauce is a fiesta sauce. What is that?
Look at
and finally, on this side, a super tuna, ahi tuna, tempura shrimp, cream cheese topped with seared ahi, avocado eel sauce, tempura flakes, and spicy mayo.
There's a California Crunch, which is tempura fried imitation crab, cucumber, and avocado, topped with tempura crunch, spicy mayo, and a kimchi. There's Ninja Crunch, which is tempura fried salmon and the imitation crab, and rolled with fresh salmon and tempura crunch, drizzled with spicy mayo and eel sauce. There's a volcano roll made with tempura shrimp, avocado, cream cheese, and spicy volcano crab mix, drizzled with spicy mayo and sriracha.
So you get a volcano roll all the time. How is this different?
It is different. There's not shrimp in the one that we get here locally.
Okay.
There's tuna in the one that I get locally here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The Yum Yum roll, which is tempura shrimp and cream cheese topped with shrimp, avocado scallions, and their signature Yum Yum sauce and a soy reduction. A crab ragoon roll, which is imitation crab, cream cheese, water chestnuts, and scallions. They're rolled in the tempura fried with a Thai chili sauce. That sounds
interesting. Yeah,
really interesting.
You love crab ragoon.
Well, and the water chestnuts, like that would give it a real.
Like a crunch.
Okay. If we go, I'm trying this one. There's also the last option for the sushi is a cucumber kanisu, which there's no rice. It's just protein and veggies. It's ahi tuna, cream cheese, and avocado rolled in thinly sliced cucumber and served with lemon ponzu sauce and drizzled with sriracha.
So for salads, they have an ahi tuna salad, which has seared sushi grade tuna and sliced avocado served over mixed greens, yellow peppers, tomatoes, carrots, and cucumbers, tossed in an Asian pear dressing with a side of tataki sauce. There's a poke bowl, which has the ahi tuna tossed with spicy kimchi ponzu as served over sushi rice with avocado, fresh mango, and edamame. Ooh, with mango. And edamame topped with seaweed salad, scallions, sesame seeds, and spicy mayo. And then a normal salad, they have a Southwest salad, which has ground beef, black beans, corn pico de gallo, avocado, red peppers, shredded cheese, and sour cream over romaine tossed in cilantro lime dressing, served in a crispy tortilla shell.
There's also a Southern Goddess salad, which is chopped fried chicken tenders, avocado, deviled eggs, cucumber, applewood, smoked bacon, shaved red onion, roasted corn, heirloom tomato over butter and romaine lettuce with green goddess dressing and a stinging honey garlic drizzle. And last but not least for the salads, we have a blackened chicken Caesar salad, romaine lettuce, grape tomatoes, and cucumbers tossed in Caesar dressing and topped with blackened chicken and shaved Parmesan.
For burgers, they're Burgers Plus is what it says on the thing. So I think the plus doesn't.
Because there's also sandwiches in here.
Okay, Burgers Plus. They have a cheeseburger deluxe, a Tokyo burger, which is topped with teriyaki barbecue, American cheese, bacon, crispy onion strings, and spicy mayo served with lettuce, tomato, pickle, and onion. There's a buffalo chicken and a Buzzy's bacon burger, which is melted cheddar, crispy bacon, ketchup, and mayo served with lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle.
There's a steakhouse burger, which is smothered with melted Swiss and topped with savory sauteed mushrooms and onions, steak sauce, and horseradish cream, served with lettuce, tomato, and pickle. There's a Turkey Club Supreme sandwich. There's a blackjack chicken sandwich, which is grilled blackened chicken breast smothered in melted Colby Jack cheese, served on a bun, topped with crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, and tomato. And to top it off, we have a Maui chicken sandwich, grilled chicken breast, topped with grilled pineapple, teriyaki, Asian slaw, cilantro, and spicy mayo on a sweet roll. That sounds good.
A little surprised that there were so many things on this burger menu that I'm like, I kind of want to try that.
There's a lot of really delicious sounding options. And then, of course, we've got a kids menu with favorites like cheeseburgers, chicken tenders, kids cheese pizza, pasta, mac and cheese, and a quesadilla.
For desserts, they have a super sundae, a root beer float, and a Ghirardelli brownie.
Yeah, there's all sorts of fun themed cocktails, handcrafted spirits here as well as draft beer, cans and bottles of beers, red wines, white wines, you name it. There's all sorts of options. That is a much more expansive menu than I would have assumed for Splitsville. I really would have thought it would have been kind of more of the basics.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Again, like I would have thought like, oh, let's get sushi there. But now I'm like, well, but the burger sounds good. And
what about all the things? And we've already added to our list other places in downtown Disney that we're like, oh man, we haven't tried there. We have to go try Black Tap. Wasn't that just last week that we were all excited about Black Tap? We're just going to have to plan our trips wisely as far as where we're eating and when.
These places have been there for years, and we've just never gotten around to it.
It's our own fault.
Yeah.
It's our own faults. Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Teg and Teresa cover all things Disneyland, in the D180, we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. Let's jump right in. Pack your bags, folks. This week we have a bevy of destinations to explore. That's right. Through the end of December, you can snag $400 off per person on select Adventures by Disney trips. Yes, Mickey's accountants are practically begging you to take a look at the world around you, and we're here to help you cash in on that promise. Where should you go with all that extra pixie dust in your wallet, you ask? Well, let's take a whirlwind spin through 4 destinations that are anything but ordinary. 10 days in Egypt means you will stand in awe at the Great Pyramid of Giza. You'll cruise the Nile for 3 nights and wander through the Valley of the Kings. There's also snorkeling in the Red Sea, papyrus-making workshops. Remember the guy on Spaceship Earth who's banging away on reeds to make paper? You could do that yourself. And a hieroglyphics class where you can literally spell your name like a pharaoh. Luxury hotels like the Nile Ritz-Carlton and a private yacht excursion are perfect for your personal royal treatment. It's history, it's mystery, it's a dash of glamour, Cleopatra style. From Kyoto's bamboo forests to Tokyo's neon skyline, this 10-day journey is a masterclass in contrasts. You'll ride a rickshaw through Arashiyama, fold origami cranes in Hiroshima, and learn the art of taiko drumming. There's even a sumo wrestling demonstration. Add in bento box-making tea ceremonies and a stroll through Shirakawa-go village, and you've got a trip that balances serene temples with futuristic art installations. That's Adventures by Disney's 10-day Japanese excursion. Now, Morocco's 10-day adventure is also a feast for the senses. Picture yourself riding a camel into a Saharan sunset, wandering the labyrinthine alleys of Fez, and sipping mint tea in Marrakesh's Majorelle Garden. You'll visit Roman ruins in Volubilis, try pottery in a local cooperative, and snap photos at Ait Ben Hadou, a UNESCO site that looks straight out of a movie set because, well, they actually filmed Gladiator right there. It is a movie set. I mean, it's older than a movie set, but they filmed it there, so you might recognize it. Watch Gladiator. With luxury desert camps and palatial hotels in Morocco, this trip is equal parts adventure and indulgence. And hey, this is the big one, the full 10-day adventure down under. You'll snorkel the Great Barrier Reef, kayak Melbourne's Yarra River, and even try your hand at being an Aussie cowboy at a sheep farm. Sydney gets its moment too, though, with a jet boat ride around the harbor and a backstage peek at the Opera House. And yes, kangaroos, wombats, echidnas are on the guest list. Think of it as the ultimate sample platter of Australia. Reef, rainforest, red desert, roos, kangaroos. Get it? City lights. If you've ever wanted to throw a boomerang and then sip wine in a chic Melbourne cafe, this trip has you covered. So there you have it. These are just 4 ways to turn your vacation into an epic saga. Whether you're chasing kangaroos, pharaohs, samurai, or camels, Adventures by Disney has your ticket. With $400 off per person, you'll have more cash left over for souvenirs, snacks, or maybe just bragging rights for all of your friends back at home. And don't forget that these are just 4 destinations. There are 9 other destinations eligible for $400 per person discounted. Get in touch with our expert travel planners at Concierge for all the details. All I can tell you is you have to hurry. All trips must be booked by December 31st. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you would like to learn more about these Disney adventures or just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DL Weekly and Concierge. Then reach out to your personal travel planner, Teresa. She looks forward to planning something special for you and yours. I'm Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
Reminder for all weekly tiers. These questions can feel like a high-speed roller coaster type ride in the dark, with self-high fives, sudden drops, and stumps. Follow all pre-launch procedures, including stowing hats, glasses, and all loose possessions in the cargo pouch located directly in front of you.
Hello, folks, and Merry Sithmas here in Trivia Land.
Oh, no.
I hope you are glad to be here.
Well, I was.
Yeah, that was my thought too. I'm like, oh no, where is this going?
That is not the celebration feeling that we should be having.
Well, Sithmas is not something we should be celebrating.
What do you mean?
That's the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're just misunderstood.
Okay, sure.
But my trivia this week, inspired by listener Rob S., who told me you should have a total trivia session on Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, no.
I figured what better time than now?
We're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you'll do better than you give yourself credit.
What are the 2 attractions in Galaxy's Edge? Nailed it.
Oh.
Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Oh, you're off to a great start, but that's not one of my 4 questions.
Okay,
for
well,
you.
let's start.
So let's dig into it, right?
I suppose.
So in
You
Millennium
mean
Falcon,
let's take off?
Oh, sure.
Let's go to hyperspace?
I mean, there's only one way to
Join
do
the
it.
Resistance.
Yeah, there you go. Since we're Sith
Nope.
missing.
Yes.
We'll join the Resistance.
Well, here's my first question for you then, since you want to take off. In Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which pilot controls the left and right flight?
Oh, no.
The left pilot.
Is it the left? I just remember the right one goes to hyperspace. I haven't piloted in ages. Like, I think the only time that I was the pilot was when we, like, the first time, back in 2019.
Well, why haven't you been the pilot since?
Because you always want to be the pilot, and I don't really care where I'm sitting.
You could literally sit next to me and pilot.
Yeah, but we usually go with other people that want to pilot.
Oh.
Like last time we had a young listener with us, and she wanted to pilot. So
I didn't pilot then.
yeah, you did. With Penny?
Oh, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Next time I will. But I've only ever been the Chewie. I've only sat in the Chewie seat and jumped to hyperspace.
Well, that's the best seat.
Yeah, I know. And even then, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've only ever gone up and down. You're right. Yeah, up and down's on that side. Left and right is on
yeah,
the left.
yeah. See, look at that. We got there.
Well, maybe we could be backwards and wrong. 50-50 shot, and we could be.
You said
off.
you've only gone up and down, and you were on that side, so I trusted
That's
your
what
memory.
I think. I could be wrong.
Could
Okay.
be wrong.
I also was in that seat in 2019, 6 years ago.
It's like yesterday. It's fine. So,
Okay.
all right. Question number 2. In Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, how many times do you see BB-8 from Q to the end?
1, 2, because you see him in the pre-show, and then you see him post-pre-show on
Outside,
Poe's thing.
outside on Poe's
I
X-Wing.
don't think you see him again. Unless do you
Does
technically...
he show up in the background of Poe? No.
I was going to say, do you see Poe, like, do we count, like, when we see Poe's ship flying? Because technically BB-8's attached to his
I
ship.
think that would count.
What's the verdict on that?
What is the verdict on that is a great question. What's your confidence?
So I found, since we're talking about Rise, I found
a 3.
I found a really interesting video last night,
Okay.
that just showed up on my YouTube feed, that somebody took a walkthrough of the attraction, a video of riding through, walking through the queue and everything, and half the screen was like dots showing people, and it showed how you progress through the queue, how you progress into the ride vehicles, how the ride vehicles move around, and everything. I was like, this is fascinating.
That is interesting.
So I'm gonna say 4.
I feel like you do see his, because I can't remember if you see his ship fly away when we're in the transport vehicle or not, but you do see his ship again, like in the battle scene when they
I'm just gonna say
cannons.
4.
You're gonna say 4?
Yeah, because I'm thinking in the room with Ray, in the waiting area outside with his ship there, twice, because I think he shows up a couple times flying around or something. So that's what I'm going to say. 4 times.
Excellent.
Two physical BB-8s and then an undetermined.
And you're
amount
saying 3?
An undetermined amount of times on screen.
Sure.
2 or 3 is my guess. 2 or 3, 1 or 2 times on screen is my guess, but
I feel like James is going to say, "Oh yeah, there's this other time," and we're going to be like, "Oh yeah,
I
duh."
believe you forgot about this clear moment, right? Well, again, later answers. Question number 3. What's the name of the droid who introduces the Fire of the Rising Moon fireworks show?
oh, what is he? The Weaver, something Weaver.
Is that the droid or is that the guy?
Oh,
I don't know what the droid is.
I thought it was kind of one and the same because the droid is the guy.
Is it?
Kind of, because the guy, I think it's explained that the guy is he had passed and his being is in the droid.
Oh, is that what it was?
I could be wrong. I could have completely misunderstood that, but I think that's what it is.
I don't know. I was too excited to see the projections. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the other thing.
I feel like it's something Weaver. I want to say Dream Weaver, but that doesn't make sense. I don't think it's Story Weaver. But I feel like it's Weavers in there.
I don't have an answer. Are you disappointed in me, James?
Very.
Okay. Did you know this answer before the trivia question?
I did.
Wow. Okay.
All right. We'll move on to the last question. What's an Ronto wrap?
Which
Or
kind?
your pick. I have the answer for Ronto wrap, Ronto-less wrap, and the Ronto breakfast
So the
wrap.
Ronto wrap has like the sausage. It's got a
pork chop.
piece of pork, like thinly sliced pork chop. It's got the slaw. It's got the sauce, and it's got
The pita.
the pita. The breakfast one has the sausage, scrambled eggs, the sauce, and the pita.
There's cheese.
And cheese.
Yeah, there's a shredded cheese.
So what's
on
the
there.
Ronto-less?
And the Ronto-less wrap is the pita, whatever you want to call the Ronto-less meat substitute. And then there's two different. There's a slaw. I think that one's got the slaw and the sauce. I don't think the other ones have sauce. I think you may
The breakfast one definitely has
definitely
a sauce.
have sauce. I think that's the difference between, because the Ronto-less has a little bit of a spice kick to it that the Ronto does not have. I think there's like a spicy sauce on the list that's not on the.
Are you sure it's not the seasoned meat that they use in the Ronto-less?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so whenever I have one, like the sauce is dripping.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the breakfast one has a sauce because like that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts of it.
I don't think a Ronto wrap has a sauce. So do we need to go back over that again since we're all over the place?
I was actually able to follow that.
Okay, perfect. Are you saying sauce on the Ronto wrap?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying no sauce on the Ronto wrap.
Excellent. I did not expect you all to give me recipes for all three of them. I'm very impressed.
Do you also realize, James, that during COVID we actually made Ronto wraps?
I know. I recorded you doing it.
Yeah. And our
How
neighbor
could we
was wondering,
possibly forget you
slamming the frying pan into
Yeah,
the
you-
island, and the neighbor's like, "What's going on
not
over there?"
tenderizing? What the heck was
Tenderizing.
that?
It was
it tenderizing?
Yep.
I mean, it was
glorious.
Yeah,
flattening is what it was.
So you had to flatten that pork chop down so that way it would grill out just right.
I will tell you though, the ones we made at home, the pork chop part of it was not right.
We should try it again
It was still really good.
because I have thoughts of how we could improve.
Oh, geez.
We'll have to warn your neighbor next time though, so she knows what the loud noises are.
Well, that wraps up my 4 questions for you in our Sith Myth celebration here in Galaxy's Edge. I hope you had some fun with it. And we'll have more fun when we get to talk through what the answers actually are and we can, bring that celebration full circle, right?
Sure.
But let's go to our discussion topic first.
Well, welcome back, Weekly Tears. We are continuing our conversation with Lyndsey about her experience on the Disney Destiny. She was very excited and got to go on a preview sailing that we heard about kind of the beginnings of before, but we skipped a very important part. Lyndsey, where did you sail out of? Because it was not Port Canaveral, which is kind of where most of the sailings go from. So let's talk about that real quick.
Yes. So the Destiny sails out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is a couple hours drive south from Port Canaveral. Port Canaveral, I would say, is probably Disney's original home base for cruises. Yeah. It's like an hour from Walt Disney World, so really easy to, get a little Disney World time in with your cruise. But now that Disney has so many ships, they just can't all be sailing out of Port Canaveral. So Disney does sail out of some other more Western places. They sail out of Galveston, Texas, San Diego, California, Vancouver, BC, and then they do some international cruises as well. But I would say Florida is like the main hub for a lot of these cruise ships. So Port Canaveral has a very Disney themed cruise terminal. Like we said, you can take a Disney bus from Walt Disney World right to the port. So all of that feels very Disney. And I think they wanted to make sure that you were still getting the Disney magic, even if you were leaving from Southern Florida. Mm-hmm. So a couple years ago, Disney totally redesigned their cruise terminal down there. So it's very Disney. As soon as you get dropped off from your bus, there's, Disney illustrations everywhere. The port or inside the cruise terminal, it's themed like Finding Nemo, and everybody in there is like wearing Mickey gloves and waving you to the gangplank to get on the ship. So I will say Fort Lauderdale feels just as magical as Port Canaveral. One thing Fort Lauderdale has going for it that Port Canaveral does not is ease of getting there. The cruise terminal is like 10 minutes, maybe, from the Fort Lauderdale airport. So we always recommend that you fly in the day before your cruise leaves, just in case there's any delays or transportation problems or whatever. The cruise ship will not wait for you. So we always tell our families to fly in the day before. So in Fort Lauderdale, this could not be easier. There are so many hotels really close to the airport with like free shuttles. I did this with my family when I sailed on the Dream a couple years ago. We flew in the evening into Fort Lauderdale, took a free shuttle to a hotel really close by. And then the next morning, we took a shuttle, but you can also Uber because literally it's 10 minutes. And you just get over to the cruise terminal so quick and easy. It's like a piece of cake compared to, Orlando, where you're like flying in, you have to go wherever you're staying there. It's an hour out to the port. Fort Lauderdale just feels like a breeze.
Yeah, because Port Canaveral, too, we went out of our cruise that we did, not Disney, but we did in August. And there's like not a lot out there by Port Canaveral where, yes, Fort Lauderdale, because we did our transatlantic Disney cruise out of Fort Lauderdale, a lot. Yeah, you're 100% right. Like so much easier to get to the terminal. It doesn't feel like you're in the middle of a industrial area necessarily when you're going. And we thought that the terminal was awesome. Like it definitely is. Like Disney definitely spent time and energy to make the terminal look awesome.
Yep, it's very fun.
Very, very cool. Well, we'll dive back into some more ship details. We kind of left off with like rooms, shows and entertainment, characters, all that fun stuff. On that same kind of vein, let's talk about some of the very highly themed lounges, bars, and I guess coffee shops is what we'll call them, that you can find aboard the Disney Destiny.
Yes. So obviously very hero and villain themed, but there are so many interesting, like crazy, you can tell the Imagineers really had fun designing these. So on the Destiny, there's a big lounge that kind of takes up almost the whole level when you're walking past the Grand Hall. And they usually have like live entertainment and there's a full bar. On this ship, it's called the Sanctum. So it is themed to Doctor Strange. And I'm not a super huge Doctor Strange fan, so I'm sure a lot of the Easter eggs were lost on me. But they have like the big window.
Yeah, like the Sanctum window. I think it's like protects them.
Yes, the Sanctum window is there behind the bar. They have like the building sign, like the address to Doctor Strange's house is there. And the theming extends even to the drinks and the food. So I got to see like this whole big display of all of their fancy drinks all set up, and they have all these crazy special effects. So one drink, when you touch the glass, it's like your fingers create lightning in it.
What?
That was crazy. And then there's another one where your glass is literally levitating and like spinning. And it's like the bartender took a stick and like put it under the cup. Like literally it was floating. It was magical. So, and they're all, named different Doctor Strange Easter egg type things. And it was just so cool.
I'm looking at the blog post, and they've got two that you didn't mention that are here that look pretty cool. There's one that looks like an upside down martini glass, but it's got like a straw in the side of it, so it's almost like a beaker in a way. And then they've got this gorgeous looking purple drink with these like foam bubbles coming out of the top.
Yes.
Oh, that looks so... I don't know if I would drink it because I'm not like a huge alcohol person, but it looks so fun.
When those bubbles pop, there's like smoke inside them. So they like poof, and make little clouds. It was so amazing.
James would love that because when we were in Epic Universe, there was a show that had like bubbles that were full of smoke, and he like couldn't stop talking about it.
Did you try any of the beverages at the Sanctum?
No.
Or did anybody that you were with try anything?
The girls I was with did a couple lounge runs when I was stuck at different I had some
events.
assigned activities on the
Yes.
ship. So when I was doing my hard work, they were doing the hard work of sampling. So they tried, they went to DeVille's, that's the Cruella DeVille one, and the Sanctum and Haunted Mansion Bar.
Very fun. Very fun. So let's move on to that. The Haunted Mansion parlor. That, of course, debuted with the Disney Treasure, and we got to go check that out in absolutely incredible space. I actually have video of myself like filming it the first time I saw it, and I wasn't paying attention because I was just filming, right? And I was like, I want to live here because it's just so cool and so immersive. But they made some changes specifically to the menu for the Destiny's version of the Haunted Mansion parlor. So did you get to try any of the newly created beverages that were there?
So I got to go in there and tour it, and they had actually an Imagineer who helped design it in the space. So I got to chat with her a little bit.
That's cool.
Basically, like, she was just saying that this lounge is like made for Haunted Mansion fans, right? Like, people who love the Haunted Mansion so much, they wish they could like live in it or hang out in it, right? Like so many of us do. You actually can, not on the ride, but in the cruise ship. So the design is very similar to the Treasure. I think it's all pretty much the same, but they took care to create a completely different menu. So even if you've been in a Haunted Mansion lounge on the Treasure, it's still a completely new experience on the Destiny.
So we talked with Paul Briggs last week, who's a tiki enthusiast. They have different tiki mugs from ship to ship.
Yeah.
So if you want to complete your collection, you gotta visit both of the parlors. You can't just visit one.
Yep, that's right.
And then I think our final one is Cask and Cannon, which is this was probably your favorite one, the Pirates of the Caribbean themed space and lounge. So let's talk about Cask and Cannon.
So that one was so fun. They have different nods to all the Pirates of the Caribbean rides around the world. So you can go in there and they have like this section where you can pull out like architectural layouts to all the different rides.
Oh.
And yeah, the ceiling has like a map and like Pirates of the Caribbean decorations and stuff. It was super cool. I did not spend a ton of time in there. We stopped by one afternoon to do like a craft. It was like the location of a craft.
Yeah.
One of the days. But yeah, super fun.
There's the drinks there looked like they were fun too, because again, very highly themed. There's one that I've seen a lot of on social media, the Dead Man's Chest, where they bring your drink out in what looks like a treasure chest, and they have it filled with smoke. So when they open it, it's just like billowing out smoke. And then there's even treasure in there, in addition to, of course, your beverages, but there's treasure. So super fun. I've been hearing a lot about like there's different like Easter eggs in the carpet, and there's like these drawers that have it looked like it was like the layout of the Disneyland version, because it had like Blue Bayou and stuff like that listed. And if you kind of read it, it's like, wait, is that the layout of the scenes of the attraction? So I just love that they do these spaces. My only complaint, and they did this with what was it called? The Periscope Pub.
Mm-hmm.
These are the like sports bars.
Right.
So you can walk in at some point and like see football or something playing. And so it takes you out of that immersive feeling a bit, which sports are not my thing. So it was very jarring, I guess would be a good way of saying it, when we were on the Treasure and like went to go check that out and there was like sports happening. It's like, oh, because it just kind of takes you out of the immersion for me anyways.
That's true.
So
try to stop by when there's not a game going on.
so like go when there's a craft, apparently, because then they probably just have fun theming on the TVs instead.
And they have a pretty good menu. It's not just drinks in there. They've got, like pub food. So a good place to, get a snack or something.
There we go.
Okay, we've done the bars and the snacks and everything. Let's talk about main dining. What is new on the Destiny for main dining?
The thing that is new is the performance restaurant, I like to call it. So it seems like on most Disney cruise ships, there's like one restaurant that's kind of fancy and like a little quieter. Another restaurant that's kind of like, maybe there's like a screen or like some type of like show entertainment. And then there's a restaurant that is like you're watching a performance while you're eating. So on the Destiny, the restaurants that match with those, the fancier one is 1923, which is modeled after like when Walt and Roy came to Los Angeles. So it's very like golden age, Los Angeles, Hollywood, really fun. The more screen type restaurant is Worlds of Marvel. So you've got like a interactive show happening with different Guardians of the Galaxy or like Ant-Man, different characters on the screen, and you can like play trivia at your table. That's really fun.
So that kind of replaces like the animator's palette on like the older ships.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So like on animator's palette, you're like, you've got Crush talking to you on a screen or whatever. On this one, it's like Marvel characters kind of.
Cool. Okay.
And then the performance restaurant on the Destiny is called Pride Lands, and it is Lion King themed. So this is pretty fun. Like, wear your animal prints, or your Lion King t-shirts. Like, I feel like so many of us love Lion King because it's been around for a long time. And it's such an amazing story with good music. So you walk in and everything is very like African themed. The menu has some very unique elements to it. There's still definitely, your standard steak and chicken and stuff, but they had a couple like really interesting menu items that were
so
like,
you can be more adventurous, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then after your server takes your initial order, a show starts. And there were performers who are like storytellers from Africa. And they come out and to the middle of the room, there's a stage with like drums and different instruments. And they kind of tell you the story of the Lion King through song. So they are singing and playing musical instruments and just kind of walking around the restaurant. And they'll kind of like take a break, and then your entree will come out, and then they'll come back out, and then you'll have dessert. But it's just these like amazing songs that we all know from the Lion King soundtrack. And they did a couple from the Broadway show, which I really love. So I thought that was fun to get some songs that, you don't hear quite as often. And the decoration around the room is all African inspired, and there are big windows, and the windows kind of change color from like sunrise to like midday to sunset throughout the show. So it's just a really cool environment to be in. And just the performers were like amazing. Everybody gave them a standing ovation at the end. They were just so good.
That's awesome.
Did you find my question for this, a couple years ago when I went on the transatlantic, for some reason, because I think they were really promoting like the Wish and everything like then. And I was thinking for some reason that one of the venues that we were going to go to had some performance thing, but on the Dream, they don't have that. It's just, whatever.
Same with the Fantasy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've got two quiet restaurants.
Yep.
My question for these type of environments where you have a show is, did you find I feel like I would be so busy watching the show that I wouldn't be eating.
Yes.
That's fair.
It's also very loud, so you're not really talking. You're just kind of watching the show.
Okay. Interesting. I think that'd be interesting because, yeah.
I feel like they give you enough time. Like, I didn't feel super rushed. Like, your food comes out, you have a little time to eat, and then the show starts up. And your servers, like, they keep an eye on you. So if you finish, they'll come clear your plates. But otherwise, they're not really rushing you through anything. I felt like you had a good amount of time to like eat and chat a little bit. And then all of a sudden the show would start up.
Gotcha.
So on the Treasure, this space was themed to Coco and that story. And so, Lyndsey, on that one, the performers almost took like breaks. So there'd be times that you'd be more interested and like more wanting to watch what was going on the stage. And then there was other times where the musicians were still playing live music, but maybe they didn't have somebody, either performing, whether it be singing or, telling the tale of Miguel. Was it the same for Pride Lands, or was it kind of just like constant entertainment?
I felt like they were more singing in this one.
Sure.
And with the Coco one, they had like guitar players and stuff walking around. So that was like a little more background music-y.
Yeah.
The Lion King one, I felt like their main instruments were like drums, and that's not really background music. So
yeah,
they kind of saved that. I would say it wasn't as much like.
Gotcha. Because like ours was kind of like they intentionally, with the Coco show, they intentionally had kind of breaks so that, and that was when you would notice that, oh, your food's being delivered now and stuff like that. So it's kind of like they intentionally designed it so that you had time to just like enjoy your food and not have to try and decide what you want, if you wanted to like eat or if you wanted to watch the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of when I was on the Magic that they have it's a Rapunzel themed one. It's her birthday party. And they kind of did the same thing there where there was like built-in breaks, I guess I'd say. But if there's still instrumentals, but the instrumentals are drums, yes, that's a little, that's not as quiet.
No.
Very, very cool. The other new dining kind of space is a treat themed area that they have. So you want to talk about Edna a la mode?
Yes. So always on the pool deck of Disney cruise ships, everybody knows you can get your unlimited soft serve. That is like free. You can go stock up anytime you want. But there are always a like specialty candy and ice cream shop close by as well. So on the Destiny, it's Edna a la mode. Get it? Like from Incredibles. And in there, they have like gelato, ice cream, kind of some more like fancy dessert type things like cupcakes and with designs on them, like what you would see in Disney parks. And so you can go in there and all of those things are for purchase. So if you want like a little more fancy dessert or something like that, you can go into Edna's.
What did you think of the theming of the space?
It was pretty cute. There's like a statue of Edna right in the middle. And so she definitely makes her presence felt. And a lot of the cupcakes and stuff were themed to The Incredibles. So it was cute.
That's fun. Oh, coffee shops. We did not talk about the fun themed coffee shops. One of my favorite things about the new, or what are they called? Triton class? Because I want to say Wish class because that was the first one.
Technically, they are Triton.
Yeah. The Triton class ships, which started with the Wish, have coffee shops more readily available than some of the original ships did, but they have themed them so well. So what were the two coffee shop themes for the Destiny?
So these are kind of right off the Grand Hall on higher decks. So you can get your drink and then look down into the Grand Hall. One of them is Cafe Megara. I just say Cafe Meg from Hercules. And then there's a Merida one also from Brave. And so these are like, if you've seen on social media, when you get the foam design, like you can get a design that says Disney Destiny. You can get one with Meg's face on it, Merida's face. So those were kind of the fancy coffee shops. And then they still have, a couple other locations those are like the specialty ones, but then they have more basic coffee shops. There's like an adults only one. And then you can always get coffee. There's like a little coffee bar in Marceline Market. Yes. There's a little coffee shop in there too. But if you want the good specialty stuff, it's Cafe Meg and Cafe Merida.
Very, very fun.
So obviously this is going to be you said it's very similar layout to the other ships, the Wish and the Treasure. I think I asked this of Teresa when she came back from it, but I'll ask your opinion too. One of the criticisms that I heard about these ships is that people, and I think part of it could just be that people are used to the old ships and they know how to get around, and so on the new ships it's just confusing. But did you find that navigating from one spot to another was pretty easy? Did you kind of like the layout of the ship? Did you find that it was laid out in a way that made sense and was easy to navigate? Or did you find that maybe compared to some of the older ships, it was a little bit more challenging?
These ships are very big. They're the biggest in Disney's fleet. So there is a little bit of that where I feel like it does take you a day or two to get your bearings and figure out your surroundings versus on, the Magic and the Wish, it's just a little more, just easier to get around because it's just a little smaller. So with that said, though, you can find your way around pretty well. And it helps because half the ship is heroes and half is villains. So you can always remember oh yeah, I'm on the villain side. And a lot of times the carpet will kind of point you in the direction, they're pointing you forward. So you can do that. But then Also, these ships only have 2 elevator banks, and some of the older ships have 3, like forward, middle, aft. These ones just have kind of forward and aft. And so I feel like that kind of helps me navigate too, because there's just not as many variables. I just kind of know like what these elevators are by, and that's where I'm going. So I will say it takes you a little while, which is why I never recommend like 3-night cruises to first time cruising families, because it takes you 2 days just to know where you are. But yeah, I think once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. The other thing too that's different with these newer ships is the locations of certain things. So like the location of where the adults only area is slightly different than where they are on the older ships, and same thing with like kind of the lounges. The lounge spaces I think kind of make sense because they're using them for more than just like adult only, and like, you know, they're not just bars, I guess would be a good way of saying it. They're kind of using them more throughout the day. They were doing that with the other ones too, but they were just tucked in like, I think is it the front of the ship that is where they are on the Disney Fantasy and Dream?
Yeah. And they're mostly like lower decks. And now these newer ones have things a little higher. So they're more in where everybody is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's kind of fun because with the Treasure, they have the Jungle Cruise themed one, was kind of like that big middle space. And it was neat just walking by because you could very easily see in because there aren't like walls. And so you could see what was going on. So a lot of the times, even if it was like, it's because they're not, and it's a cruise ship, there's not huge spaces anywhere except for maybe like the dining and your theaters, but all the other spaces feel a little bit more intimate. So it's very easy, especially on these bigger ships, for those to fill up very fast. But if you wanted to see the live entertainment, you could still hear the band and everything because you're still right there. You're not technically like inside taking a seat, but you can still be a part of the action. So I thought that was kind of fun. But then there's pros and cons to that. Same with like the Haunted Mansion parlor. It is, again, more intimate. So when we were on the preview sailing, everybody wanted to get in there. So there was quite the line. But since then, the hype has kind of dwindled. And it's just so cool to be in that little space, because you just kind of forget that you're on a ship literally with thousands of other guests. And so I like that they make more small, intimate spaces to do that.
I actually really love that about these new ships, that they're bigger, but they don't feel bigger. Exactly. And even though sometimes, like for the popular spaces, you might have to wait a little. I feel like maybe on the first or second day, it's going to be super busy, but throughout the cruise, people kind of chill. And if you go like earlier or later, you can get in without having to wait. So I like those smaller lounges because they're such cool spaces that aren't, ginormous, but it also applies to like the pool decks. Whereas on some of the like older ships, they just kind of have like 2 really big pools and a splash pad or whatever. On these newer ships, they have like multiple smaller pools. So it's kind of the same idea. Like you never feel like you're just crammed in with a ton of people. It's like, oh, this little small area is like feeling a little crowded. So I'll go over here, and it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like sprinkled throughout the pool deck instead of just all concentrated into like the center of the pool deck.
Mm-hmm. And like hot tubs all around. Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
So the smaller venues like the Haunted Mansion thing and stuff, so how do they cap access to that? Because like other cruise lines that I've been on that have smaller venues, literally people just like open the door and they're like, nope, it's full. And then they just like leave or whatever. Does Disney have like a cast member that's like, we're full, come back, here's a line? How does that work? If you're like the Haunted Mansion thing, if you wanted to get into the parlor and you were like dead set on it, like how does that experience work?
They just kind of have a cast member keeping an eye on capacity. And if it starts getting crowded, then they'll, be at the door like, oh, just hang out. And then, so sometimes you can kind of line up or just come back later, and they'll, once a couple people leave, they'll let a couple more people in.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I think that's good, because like on the other lines that I've been on, sometimes they just let people cram in, and then you don't like, and especially at a highly themed place, right? Like the parlor or like any of these other venues where it just feels like you can't even experience the theming because there's just literally people everywhere. So I kind of like that they're doing that kind of stuff, and you can kind of enjoy, like you said, Teresa, like you're on this giant ship with thousands of people, but it doesn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fun, cool areas, kids clubs. Did you guys get to go see and check out the kids clubs?
We did. We toured all of them. The kids clubs on all Disney cruise ships are amazing. And that's kind of why I think Disney cruises are the best vacations for families, because your kids are going to love those kids clubs so much that they're like excited to go. So then the grown-ups get like grown-up time, you know, everybody enjoys. And then you come back together for family time later. Yeah, they're massive. So the Oceaneer Club on the Destiny, the entrance is themed to Wreck-It Ralph. And so they have like a big Ralph statue and Vanellope, and the carpet looks like a waffle cone, and the slide. So the one way that kids can get into the kids club is from the Grand Hall with a slide that takes you down, which I tried myself, you know, research purposes. Very fun. The slide is designed like a peppermint stick. So it's all like very themed and cute. And then once you're inside, they have all these different areas. There's a Star Wars launch bay area, and there's like a data pad game that kids can play in there and like hunt down different creatures. There's a Marvel section where you can like design your own superhero suit and then test it out on a like display projection game. There is a little like playground area for younger kids with, you know, slides and little things to climb on. I think that's like Mickey and Minnie's Captain's Deck or something. Mm-hmm. There's an Imagineering section where you can design your own roller coaster and then test it out. And then they also just have big rooms with like an area where like characters might come in and play with the kids, interact with them, teach them superhero skills. And then there's like lots of arts and crafts areas where they take them in to do crafts or play games and all different stuff. So there are tons of different areas and so many cast members watching the kids. Disney Cruise Line has the highest ratio of like counselors to kids in the cruise industry. So there's lots of people keeping an eye on everyone. And that's so Oceaneers Club is for kids ages 3 to 10. And they will usually keep like the 3 and 4-year-olds kind of like in their own little area. And then all the other kids kind of mixed together. But if you have littles from 6 months to 3 years, there's the It's a Small World nursery. And so that is just, you know, it's like a quieter area. Babies can nap or little kids can, you know, get some one-on-one time in there. And then they also have Edge and Vibe, which are the kids clubs for like tweens. So once they, you know, turn 10 and age out, there's like for 10 to 14-year-olds and then 14 to 17-year-olds. And those ones, you don't check your kids in and out like you do in the kids club. Kids are more free to go, and they lean more heavily into like games, and maybe they'll take them to the hero zone where they can play like foosball and air hockey and basketball and stuff, or they'll do like video game competitions and stuff like that. So all very like age appropriate depending on where you're at.
You know, when James and I were on the Dream, we talked to because we went and toured because they're on every cruise. It seems like there's always like an open house for people like to go and experience and see what these things are. And James and I both, maybe we're just big kids, but we both looked at each other. We're like, how come they don't have these experiences for adults? Like, we would love to play video games like all day, or like I'm looking at the Star Wars area that's like highly themed to like a spaceship kind of thing. I'm like, I'd play in this area, but it's like. Except for those times that it's open for everybody, they're just for the kids, which is great because you want to keep kids, you know, safe and not have people, you know, random strangers with them and stuff. But like, I don't know, it's just Disney has like the bars and stuff, but why, you know, they need to have some more like middle adult kind of things, like the adults that still want to play video games and stuff. They can have those spaces too.
See, I had to turn it off. So when you have your Navigator app on when you're on a Disney cruise, it gives you the the rundown of everything that's going on for the day. And so I had to filter it so that it stopped showing me the kids' activities, because I kept getting excited about like whatever things, like whatever planned activities were going on. And then I realized, oh, dang it, that's in the kids club. I cannot go, because like
Same.
Lyndsey was saying that Walt Disney Imagineering Lab, you can design your own roller coaster. But then there's a whole other section that's like they do a bunch of hands-on stuff. So maybe that's like animating or like different, like, I don't know, crafts and projects and just like a bunch of hands-on kind of stuff that they let you be like little Imagineers kind of thing. And those things I kept wanting to sign up. I'm like, they need adult Imagineering time, 100%, because
I'm telling
it
you,
would be packed.
So true. So everybody just keep an eye out for those open houses, and you can go and test it out for 1 hour.
And at the very least, you get to take the slide, which is super fun.
Yeah.
Very, very
tell you,
cool.
man, they need to have the adult kids section.
Yeah. It's also, though, a great way, like, for families, if maybe it's your first ever Disney cruise and you've got a child that's maybe a little shy or a little timid and isn't quite sure if kids clubs are their thing or not. It's a great way to kind of go check them out together. So then they can be like, oh, forget you, mom and dad, because I'm going to go hang out with Chewbacca instead, because I can do that. I'm on a Disney cruise ship now.
Which brings up another thing. I mean, I'm sure Teresa and Lyndsey, you probably felt this way on your cruises. I mean, the preview cruise is a little bit different than like a regular cruise, but like we didn't, and so is a transatlantic. But I get the feeling from talking to people who have been on multiple Disney cruises, the kids areas are so good that like you never see kids out wandering around causing trouble being kids in the regular areas, because like they do a really good job like entertaining the kids of all the ages, right? The only time I remember that we had any type of kids around that were being kind of whatever is like after everything was closed, like late. So if you're up late at like 11:30 at night or whatever, like those kids things are closed down, so you might see some teenagers wandering around or something, but like for the most part we didn't really see a lot of kids. They were like in the kids areas doing all the cool, fun kids stuff that we all wished we could do.
Yeah, it feels like on Disney cruises, if the kids aren't in the kids clubs, and they're probably up on the pool deck, or then you'll like see them obviously for like dining and then the shows. But otherwise, like most of the day, it is very strange because you're like, we just went on a cruise with my mom and it was her first Disney cruise. And she kind of kept joking like, this is a Disney cruise, right? Because you just assume that there's going to be, of course, it's Disney. There's going to be all sorts of children. They're there. They're just doing all their cool, fun stuff and like saying adios adults, because we got way cooler stuff in our kids clubs.
Yeah, living the life. Well, and when I sailed on the Dream a couple of years ago, my middle boy I think he was like 10. So he was kind of right on the edge between the tween club and the kids club. He could still go in the kids club, but he tried out the tween one, to see what it was like. But the thing that he loved the most, I mean, he definitely loved the kids clubs, but because he was 10, I gave him the privilege to be able to check himself out if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll let, like, after you're 8 or 9, I think, kids, you can kind of loosen up their check-in, check-out privileges. And so he would go check himself into the kids club, hang out there for a little while, and then he would like leave when he was done and go get himself a soft serve. He'd check out like whatever movie was playing in the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I could, check in on him and see where he was, but he was like living his best life, feeling so independent and like all of these like fun, safe spaces for him to check out. And I felt, because it was a contained cruise ship and, he's not like a 5-year-old. I would not want a 5-year-old wandering around, but I felt like I could give him a little more independence because everywhere he went, everybody was so nice. There were like activities for him. He was just living his best life. So
that's a great point. And you also brought up, I forget that there's movie theaters on board as well that are also adorably themed. I think that's Neverland and Wonderland are the two themes for the theaters on board. And the coolest thing is, right, Disney movies all day. But if you're on your cruise and like a new Disney movie hits the theaters, you get to see it on the ships too. So you can skip having to go pay theater prices and it's just included as part of your cruise. I think Tag probably got more use of that on the transatlantic cruise than us that are not doing multi-week long cruises. We
didn't watch a ton of stuff in the theater. There was like 1 or 2 movies that we caught in there, but generally, and I was just going to mention this because you mentioned like just catching something on the funnel vision or whatever. James was saying that on our last cruise in August that was not Disney, he's like, I kind of missed funnel vision because it was so nice to like just walk by and there'd be some movie and you're like, oh, I haven't seen this for a while. And you just kind of sit down and whatever. Yeah. Where on the cruise ship that we were on, a lot of times it was just like, they would just have like random things playing or nothing playing. And funnel vision's really good, especially Sea Days. They just got movies Like, you sit there, you wait, 10 minutes, and they'll start another one. And he liked that it was good quality, the Funnel Vision. Like, screen is easy, even in the, like, bright sun of the day, you can still see it. Where, like, the one we had on the Royal Caribbean was a little harder to, like, see.
Any other thoughts or tidbits that you would like to share about the Destiny?
It was just very fun.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe this is just me because I am a mom of all boys, but I feel like this ship is like the ship for boys with all of the superheroes and everything. Obviously, there's plenty for girls, and obviously all kids like all different things. But like in my house, we are very heavy into superheroes, villains, all that kind of stuff. And this ship just has it everywhere. Like Loki and Black Panther were like roaming around the Grand Hall. You got Spider-Man is the figure on the back of the ship. So when we were parked at Castaway Cay, we didn't talk about that. I stopped at Castaway Cay for an afternoon. It was all decorated for Christmas. It was very fun.
Cute.
But yeah, so when you see the outside of the ship, Spider-Man's out there hanging off the back of the boat. It was very fun. Like, if you have kids who are into anything Marvel, this is like gonna blow their minds.
It's kind of interesting that you just pointed that out, because it's kind of like it's a bookend, because I feel like the Wish is very like princess heavy, and then the Treasure's kind of just adventure seekers
heavy.
And theme parks heavy. Yep. And then now you've got the Destiny that's kind of more like superheroes and stuff heavy. That's interesting. I'm sure that was intentional. But there's something for everyone. You can choose specifically which ship, but then even on the ship there's something for everyone, because they still have, like, in the kids clubs, like for this one, yes, it's very superhero heavy, but there's still like story time with princesses and like the kids clubs and crafts and stuff like that. So the princesses are still there. They're just not as front and center as maybe if you were on the Wish.
Yes, they're definitely still there. They were roaming all around as well.
So if you've sold people listening to this on going on this ship, where is it sailing, and what's the, I know when a ship first comes out, right? I feel like they do a lot of the shorter, like 3 and 4 night cruises, because they're trying to get as many people that want to experience it onto it. And then as it kind of is around longer, they kind of expand into the longer, like 5-day kind of things later on. So if somebody wants to, like, right now, they're like, I want to book the soonest kind of thing, where is it sailing to at the moment?
So the Destiny is actually starting out with my favorite length of cruise, which is like 5 nights. They will do an occasional 7-night or like maybe a shorter one, like a 4-night. But for the most part, the Destiny will be doing 5-night sailings through the Bahamas and Caribbean. So every itinerary stops at least one of Disney's private islands, Castaway Cay or Disney Lookout Cay and Lighthouse Point. It is a mouthful. And so every sailing will stop at one of those, and some of their itineraries stop at both. So if you want to check out both of Disney's locations, this is a great way to do it. And I think 5 nights are like perfect, because like I said before, 3 nights, maybe even 4 nights, too short. You want to like really indulge all the fun Disney stuff. But like the Treasure initially was only sailing 7-night itineraries, and some families, like 7 nights isn't in your budget maybe, or in your vacation time. So it's a lot to commit to like a full 7-night. So these 5 nights I feel are the sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree. The Wish, it seemed like, was doing a lot of like the 3 to 4 kind of, like they were doing more of the shorter ones. Again, look, they're learning stuff as they go, because we've got the shorter cruises, then we went to the longer cruises. Now we're kind of going right into that mid section there. So I do think it's really fun that it's also, you can do sailings that stop at both of the private islands now as well.
Yep.
Now that the Destiny's out, what are the prices for the Treasure? And I'm like, the Treasure prices have come down a little bit. So if you want to do like a 7-night,
well, 7-night, your 14-night cruises.
Yeah. Well, but But nobody's going to be able to like that's hard to do. Like we are lucky because we teach and we have the time off. But like for the average person, that's hard, especially with a family. It's very hard to swing. But like they have one right now that's the last week in January on the Treasure for like $3,400 for 2 guests. Like that's not too bad. For 7 nights, you get to go to Cozumel, Georgetown, Jamaica, and then Castaway Key. So I know that's not the Destiny, but
there are definitely times that cruise sailing is like more affordable than other times. So it all kind of depends on like the time of year. So like even if you're looking, I know this is kind of left field, like Alaska cruises, they only go for a certain season. But even within that season, there are more affordable times to go. And less because it ebbs and flows like with anything. When it's super popular, it's going to be more expensive to travel, but probably for good reason. So like Alaska, middle of summer when everybody wants to probably escape some heat and everyone's off from summer breaks, that's going to probably be your more expensive times versus when it's, on the cusps of the Alaskan sailing season because it's going to be a little colder out because it is Alaska.
Yep.
But yeah. But that's why you partner with your favorite concierge, because we can help guide you through all of that kind of extra layers of having to know all this weird stuff that goes along with any Disney vacation destination, whether it be cruising or the theme parks or any of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Spoken like a travel expert.
We don't know any of those people.
If anyone is looking to sail on the Destiny or of any of other Disney's other ships, talk to Teresa or any of our other concierge travel planners. We would love to help you find an itinerary and a ship that matches your family.
The thing that's so cool too about these preview cruises is yes, only a handful of people are able to go when concierge gets invited. But now look, you just are a wealth of knowledge, Lyndsey, to tell us all the fun, cool details of the new ship that, yes, we can live vicariously through others on social media, but it's totally different to talk to someone that was like actually got to be on the ship and experience all the things and be creeped out by Dr. Facilier and, all that good stuff.
Yes, exactly. I know it is so hard when Disney only gives us one stateroom, having to figure out which concierge get to come with me. But I mean, as you know, Teresa, as soon as we got back, we had a whole team meeting and all of us sat everybody down and told us, we shared all the things that we learned, like the pros and cons and things that families need to know. So anybody you talk to in concierge is well versed in the Destiny now.
Yes.
And everything else Disney seemingly for travel.
Yes, of course.
Yes, definitely. Go check them out. Concierge.com. Go check them out. Book with any of the awesome planners over there. I don't think you can really go wrong in a lot of ways. So there you go. If you want somebody with firsthand knowledge, though, Lyndsey, or I'm sure Lyndsey could point you to the other folks that went on that as well. If you want somebody who's a treasure expert, Teresa's got that down. She's got firsthand knowledge of that one, too. As does Lyndsey. Lyndsey's just got all the good firsthand knowledge. So obviously call up Lyndsey, right?
So speaking of different ships, Lyndsey, you've gone on several now. Can you decide on a favorite, or can you at least pick like your most memorable ships?
You picking this question is funny to me.
I now have a favorite tag. That's why I'm asking.
I'm curious to know what your favorite is when Lyndsey's done answering.
I know. I want to hear that too.
My favorite is the Treasure.
Okay, why?
I don't know what. I think it's because it's like a love letter to theme parks in a way, and I think that's why I love it so much. Is it's kind of like those two worlds colliding. Obviously, have a deep passion for Disneyland, and I have quickly fallen in love with cruises. So I think the meshing of those two things is what did it. And I mean, Haunted Mansion Parlor, come on, and it's just gorgeous. It is just beautiful. It's the tile work, it's the colors, it's everything. I just love it.
I
All
agree.
right, Lyndsey, go ahead.
So we have a concierge cruise coming up early in 2026 on the Wonder. And so I'm excited to do that one because then I will have officially crossed off half the ships, the Disney ships in the fleet. But as of now, having been on 3 and knowing a lot about all the other ones, I have to agree that the Treasure's mine too. And I think part of that is just same, like the Disney parks connection. It's so fun with Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, all the things. But also everything on the Treasure was like teal, and that's like my favorite color. And so on the Destiny, I would see things in different colors, and I'm like, oh, that should be teal. So anyway, I guess John Hench knew what he was talking about when he said how important color was. It like really speaks to some people in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's how I'm going to feel if I ever go on the fantasy, is because I've been on the dream, that like there's enough different, like I saw pictures from Teresa's trip, and like the statue that's in the atrium is like this marble looking, like this green like marble, and I'm like, I don't like that as much as what I was on with the dream. So, but I love the Art Deco.
It's bronze. It's Miss Minnie Mouse, and she's
no. The pedestal it's like sitting on.
Oh, the pedestal. I see.
Yeah. It's like a green like marble looking thing, where like what we had was more like a light tan stone looking thing. Anyway,
they're all
just
different, and like it's not that I'm only going to ever sail on the Treasure ever again. I think there's easy pros to all of them, because like the magic will always be in my heart, because it was the first ever ship, so without the magic we wouldn't have the rest of them. But B, that was also my first ever Disney cruise was on the Magic, and I think it's like the fact that it's the oldest ship in the fleet, and I went from being on the Magic to then my next cruise being on the Treasure was wild, because it really was like, whoa, they keep these ships up. And I've sailed other cruise lines where you're like, oh yes, this is one of the older ships, isn't it? Because you can tell. But with Disney you can't. And I think for me, not being sure of cruising in general, being on one of those original ships that are smaller also was helpful, because then it was easier to figure out where I was. It didn't take me that long to figure that out. I was very worried about being lost on the cruise ship. But then there were just not as many people on it because it's a smaller ship. So pros and cons.
Yeah.
I will 100% say, because we've sailed a bunch of different cruise lines, and Disney by far maintains its ships the best. Like, you're absolutely right, Teresa, because when I went on the Dream, it wasn't a new ship, but it felt pretty new still, which was, and at every port, they were out there doing tons of maintenance on it and painting and cleaning and everything, where, on the Royal Caribbean ships and stuff like that, even the newer ones, they weren't doing as attentive kind of maintenance in some of those areas.
True. They keep them up really nice.
Tag, I'm excited. I know that you sailed the Dream before. Your next cruise is also the Dream. I'm excited for you to experience another ship. Maybe not the Fantasy.
Well,
that's like the sister.
Whenever they do the next transatlantic with something else,
there you go.
That's probably what it'll be.
There you go.
All right, Lyndsey. Well, we're going to finish off. I know you answered this question before, but it's been a few years, so maybe you have a different answer. If you could work in Disneyland doing something other than travel planning, let's say, what would you do? Sky's the limit. Could include any job, even something you make up.
Ooh, tough one. I know this is like weird because I'm too old for it, but I wish I could work in the college program at Walt Disney World. I missed that when I was in college. I just never went for it. But every time I go to Disney World now, I meet so many like friendly, helpful college students, and they're like running the pool games at the resort, or like the s'mores, fire pit, marshmallow roasting. And I'm so curious about their life and what that's like to like live at Walt Disney World. And kind of actually similar to that, like a cruise line cast member. I'm very curious what their lives are like too. I feel like the cast members I have gotten to know the best on the cruise ships are the servers, because you can kind of chat, at dinner time with people. And so many of them come from all over the world, different countries, and have just like totally different backgrounds than me. And so I think even, if you're coming from a different country or coming from the States, I just am so fascinated by what that life is like. So basically anything that would let me live in the Disney bubble, whether on a cruise ship or at a theme park, I would love to.
I have to look this up, because the Disney college program, I'm wondering, like, obviously you have to be a college student, but like, could you be an adult learner and go? Like, I don't know if there's any reason that you couldn't. I just went to their website and they've got a picture of somebody who looks like an adult learner in one of their one of the photos here. So
maybe.
See, you just got to go back to school.
Re-enroll. I can try it. My dream will live.
There you go.
Crazy.
Very cool.
Well, Lyndsey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience with the Disney Destiny. I do want to go experience one of these new ships eventually. I got to get off the transatlantic only, apparently. So one of these days. You've made it sound fun, and hopefully somebody listening will hit up you or one of the planners that works with concierge to book some stuff, because there's no time like the present to go and explore Disney cruising.
Why not?
I will give a shout out too. Disney Cruise Line has been like notorious for never doing discounts and stuff or promos, but maybe because they are having all these ships now and they're just wanting everybody to experience them. But they've been releasing some really good discounts lately. So if you want to price check anything, I would have to say Disney cruises are a lot more affordable than people would think. Let concierge know and we'll find you a good deal.
Yeah. And the other thing,
save up to 35% on some of these. Wow.
See? Look right there. And the other thing too is you can book out into like 2027. So you've got plenty of time to plan, whether it be time off from work or financially or whatever. You don't have to go, the next couple of months. You can push it out and look at sailings further out too.
The other thing that's nice with booking with concierge, rather than booking it yourself, that I personally have experienced, is you don't have to pay like upfront, like right now for like the whole thing or whatever. Like you can like set down your deposit and pay over time. And I know with a lot of Disney stuff you could do stuff, but it's just so much easier to go do it that way. And Teresa's been very good at like
the deposit amount recently too. It used to be like 20% of your cruise fare was due when you booked, but now it's only 10%. And I mean, I've been booking people. It's like just a couple $100s to lock yourself in, and then we can set up payment plans for you. And I literally have people who like just pay $100 a month, but they booked their cruise like 2 years in advance, and so it's very painless to get this cruise paid for.
Keep that in mind.
All sorts of fun options. Awesome.
Wow, they have some really cheap ones right now. Anyway.
Tag's going to book a cruise by the time we wrap this interview up.
Let's go.
Well, they have a 3-night one right now coming up from Fort Lauderdale on the Dream, of course, for like $1,500 or something. Like, that's really good for...
We should look and see. Maybe we'll find you a 3-night cruise on the Destiny prior to your transatlantic cruise, and you can do back-to-back cruises on different ships.
Yeah, but then we got to pay for 4 because we've got.
Oh yes, that's right. You can just drop your friends off in Miami, and they can have a weekend in Miami while you have a weekend on a different Disney ship.
I mean, that's like less than a Disneyland vacation. For some people. So it's pretty cheap. And I will say, since I know you guys, I mean, so many of your listeners are hardcore Disneyland people, there are going to be 2 Disney ships sailing out of San Diego starting, is it next fall, I think?
I think so, yeah.
The Magic and Wonder. So that's like super exciting because I feel like Southern California is such a great place that people are traveling to all the time. And it would be so easy to do a day at Disneyland and then hop down to San Diego and do a cruise.
Yep.
Well, now with more ships, they're getting more ability to sail out of more places and do different itineraries. Exactly. So it's good, right? More ships, more opportunity, bringing down those prices because there's more supply. So all good things.
All good things. Well, thank you again so much, Lyndsey. We had so much fun chatting with you and hearing all of your fun details and all of your fun that you had on the Disney Destiny.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you've heard us talk about our great experiences staying at the Howard Johnson Anaheim. Well, we have partnered with them to offer our listeners some really cool discounts. Weekly tiers can unlock up to 40% off select dates plus a free baby shark cuddle pillow on qualifying stays of 4 nights or more. To take advantage of this deal, visit the link in our show notes, specifically the link in the show notes for this episode. Otherwise, you can get 15% off during the normal times. To take advantage of that discount, head on over to DLWeekly.net and click on the Howard Johnson logo.
Yeah, so for the special holiday promotion, it is a limited time. It was kind of one of their like Cyber Week deals that's still going on. So if you have something planned coming up and you were thinking of staying at the Howard Johnson, now would be a great time to check rates and use that special promo in the show notes to see if you can get up to 40% off your next stay.
Why not? 40%. It's a lot of money.
That's amazing.
More Christmas gifts for others.
More churros.
That too.
It's okay. I'll be the only weekly tier without an answer. Make sure you send your questions to Producer James or Producer Vern at trivia@dlweekly.net.
Well, ho, 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 welcome back.
Is that what Sith's people say? Do they say ho, ho, ho?
You know, I don't think we figured that
How
part
does
out
Darth
yet.
Vader say ho, ho, ho? Does he go?
Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know, we've had Sithmas be canon for like 6 years now, so we probably should figure that out at this point. So
Sure.
But anyway, 4 questions for you, all about Galaxy's Edge. Thanks to Rob S. for the inspiration. My first question for you was, in Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which pilot flies left and right? You remember the right pilot pulls hyperspace, left pilot pushes the boost, left pilot also steers left and right. Well done, you two.
Oh, we
getting
got
the
it.
First one right.
Why'd you say dang
I don't know. I thought we talked ourselves out. I was just going based on what we normally do.
So we can trust Teresa's long-term memory, but maybe not the short-term.
Because what I remember, the reason I remember
that's
this,
what we learned.
the reason that I remember this is because I was so focused with going left and right not to crash into things that I don't remember looking up to pull hyperspace.
Sure.
So that's where that was coming from.
There you go.
There you go.
Also, it screws with me because up is down and down is up on the joystick thing, and it's like,
yes.
It's a style. You got to get used to those inverted controls.
don't like it.
Well, let's move on. Maybe you like this better. My second question for you was, how many times do you see BB-8 from Q to end in Star Wars Rise of the Resistance? My answer, 2. And I'm willing to accept 3 if you include the video versions like in the drop, but I don't clearly see him in those images.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why that was gray.
So you're saying
2 or 3.
the one you're saying the one outside and the one inside?
You got it. The 2 that you clearly called out. Here, I was hoping you might forget about the one in Poe's X-Wing, but nope, you two couldn't be fooled by that.
I'm a weird person. I turn and say hi to him every time. That's why.
What?
You don't notice that? I say hi,
Incredible.
BB-8.
You try to say hi
I
to
do.
him
I
every
say
time?
turn and say hi.
Moving on, question number 3. What's the name of the droid who introduces the Fire of Rising Moon's fireworks show? This droid belonged to Batuan historian, and lore weaver. Tohan
Lore
Lej.
Weaver. Well, you got Weaver right,
But we
Well, that's the
just call
guy's
him
name.
Bard.
Oh, that's right.
which is funny. I should have known because of the fact that
Lore
that's a
Weaver.
lore. That's a Dungeons and Dragons character
It is
type that
the-
James was.
It's the archetype that tells stories. It is the nickname of Shakespeare. It is perfect for a droid name that is all about telling lore and stories.
I'm proud of
well.
myself for remember the Weaver part.
I
Even
was
if it
happy that you got that.
wasn't
You're like
right.
story weaver or something. I'm like, you're on the right track for the person.
Lore Weaver sounds even
Lore
but,
Weaver
like,
was
just
the bigger one
epic.
before you get to the Bard in the name. All right, final question for you this week. What's an Oronto wrap? I let you pick which one. You both picked all 3, so we're going to judge all 3. So the Oronto wrap, according to the Disneyland app menu, includes roast pork, grilled pork sausage, peppercorn sauce,
Oh, there's-
tangy slaw, wrapped in a pita. Exactly as described by Tag.
Good job.
Good job, Tag.
The Ronto-less garden wrap includes impossible sausage, spicy kimchi slaw, sweet pickled cucumber, gochujang spread wrapped in a pita.
Gochujang spread. That's where the spice
What is
comes
it?
from. The
There's
spice.
That's your
Or-
spicy drip right there.
But it's orange.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's what drips all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard gochujang described as like spicy Korean ketchup as one
Oh.
way to kind of talk about it. It is not ketchup by
No, it's
any
not
means,
ketchup.
so do not accept that belief. But it is delicious. So almost there. Last one, the Ronto morning wrap includes scrambled eggs, grilled pork sausage, shredded cheddar, peppercorn sauce, wrapped in a pita. So what
There
I've
you
learned
go.
tonight, Tag knows Ronto roasters very well.
Because I love them, man. They're so good.
I am very impressed that you remembered it, especially because I don't feel like we get the standard Ronto wrap very often. We usually get it for breakfast.
Well, when you're around, we usually get it for breakfast.
Oh.
We've gotten it for other times. But you know what? I wouldn't have thought, in my brain for the Ronto-less one, the cucumber stuff, my brain puts it as part of the slaw.
Yeah, my brain puts that as part of the slaw. And I think that's the same with the
kimchi.
The peppercorn sauce, I think, is part, I think it's just the dressing of the slaw.
Sure.
All sorts of dressing. Look at that.
Oh,
I didn't know that it was Impossible brand sausage, though.
It is.
Huh.
Look at that. We might even be able to make our own Ronto-less wraps at home then.
I think it might be easier to make the Ronto-less than it is to make the Ronto.
Banging of a pork chop to be take your Midwest aggression
We're missing out on so much not doing that, though.
That is very sad. I want to see what's the spread is a half a cup of vegan mayo, a garlic clove, a 1.5 tablespoon of gochujang. It's a Korean red chili paste.
That's a very good way to describe it.
Yeah. Huh.
I need to make a case for the Ronto-less wrap, even if you are someone who does not tend to shy away from eating meat or animal products. Everyone, I think, needs to try the Ronto-less wrap. It is so good. It is so flavorful.
Oh,
I will go one step further, though.
Oh.
Everything you've ever gotten at Disney, for the most part, that has been Impossible or not actual meat has been amazing.
Yeah.
That thing that we get in Docking Bay 7 with the meatballs, that's really good.
The Felucian hummus spread or garden spread. Yeah. So many delicious things. But man, that Ronto-less wrap, I prefer it to the Ronto wrap. I know that might be a hot take, but there I said it. And I really enjoy that. I'm not a breakfast foods person. There's not a lot of breakfast foods that I enjoy, but I love that I can get the Ronto-less wrap
anytime
during breakfast. So when Tag is wanting a breakfast Ronto wrap, I can get a Ronto-less wrap.
And usually I don't usually scrambled eggs are not cooked enough for me, but the ones in the Ronto wrap are perfect.
There you go.
For the breakfast.
All of the reasons to go to Ronto Roasters.
Share with the audience, which I think you have before. In Florida, what don't they have?
The Ronto-less wrap.
At all?
No, I was so sad. I was helping a friend plan her trip, and they were very excited about Galaxy's Edge. I'm like, and you got to go to Ronto Roasters. And thank goodness I had my app, and I was verifying things as we were chatting. And I pulled up the menu, and they do not have the Ronto-less wrap.
Could they just have the regular Ronto wrap there? What else do they have?
I will pull it up and let you know. So this is interesting because it is the same, but not the same. So for breakfast, they have the Ronto morning wrap, which is the exact same, but they also have Rising Moon's overnight oats. Again, this is Walt Disney World. Oats, dragon fruit, yogurt, and a seasonal fruit. That would be delightful.
Okay.
And then for lunch, you have the Ronto wrap, the classic Ronto wrap, which is right standard. They have Creole pork rinds, which is pork rinds seasoned in a savory blend of chili powder, cheddar, smoke, and cinnamon all together. For plant-based options, they do have a plant-based version, but it is not the same. It is different. It is grilled zucchini, smoky chickpea onion slaw, creamy garlic tahini sauce, and fresh cilantro wrapped in pita bread. So they have it's a Zuki wrap is what they call it there. It's not called the Ronto-less wrap there. It's
weird.
Different. It is different.
Well, that's 1 point for Disneyland then.
Yes, it is.
I mean, we haven't had that other thing, and it could be amazing, but who knows?
But look at, there's also, I just went back to breakfast. They have a breakfast version of their plant-based wrap there. So Triple Sun's breakfast wrap. So it's the plant-based egg, smoky chickpea onion slaw, and roasted tomato sauce wrapped in pita bread.
Well, that's no points for Florida, but a couple points for you inside of Trivia Land, right?
We did pretty okay.
You did. See, I told you this would be a merry celebration.
We got 3 points for the 3 Ronto wraps at the end, right?
You did. I had it wrong.
I mean, it's one question, so it's kind of 1 point.
No, but I thought we were getting graded on each one.
Oh. Sure.
My spreadsheet only lets me give full points or half points, so you get what you get.
Okay.
I only got the breakfast one right, which makes no sense because I've never had the breakfast one.
You always get the Ronto list, and it always works out for you. So, anyway, Trivia Land, I believe over the next 2 weeks, is looking to go into the holiday season with anything related to things in the park that generally are associated with it. So if you've got some good ideas for us, we would love to hear from you. And now that the hosts know, they're going to start studying. So you can go real deep into the lore. Really dig in there and find all the goodies. Or if you want to be nice, you can do that too. Either way, you give us trivia for this season or ones beyond at our website, dlweekly.net/trivia.
I just want to say that if you are mean to us, you will get coal in your stocking.
Well, we'll be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast, Andy Mack for all the wonderful character transitions, and to James D for supporting us at the Club 33 level.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal podcast companion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this episode? My scans indicate you have been a good weekly tier. Have a lollipop. Now excuse me while I let out some air. Goodbye.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.